Okay, wow. What in the world were Konami and Jinvid thinking with this one? Hey, let's take one of the most loved and cherished franchises that's been borderline dead for practically 11 years, and let's just throw it into a garbage, light it ablaze, and create one of the largest dumpster fires of the last few years. No, that's not what they were thinking? Well, heck, they could have fooled me. Okay, all jokes aside, you can probably tell what we'll be talking about from the title alone, but I just don't think you know how bad things really are with Silent Hill Ascension, and that's what I want to get into with this video. But since this is just a side video, I will push this intro aside and we can jump right into the bomb that is Silent Hill Ascension. Now, before I get into why this might be one of the worst decisions to come out of the Silent Hill franchise, let me first explain what exactly Silent Hill Ascension is, for all of you who somehow might not know yet. So, Silent Hill Ascension is a show and a game, kind of. It's an interactive show. Now, at first, I thought this meant it was going to be like one of those weird Netflix specials like Bandersnatch or that one awful Bear Grylls show. This was not that, though. Ascension is an animated show that is streamed through their own Silent Hill Ascension website and apps. You watch the show live, you're able to send chats and emotes to the rest of the people watching. Now that is where the interactive part comes in. Depending on what is commented and voted in by the spectators, the story of the show changes. Now, yeah, this actually sounds like an interesting concept, reminding me of watching shows like America's Got Talent and American Idol when I was a kid. They'd have people say like, text in your votes now. Like, imagine a TV show that actually played out a story like that. In my opinion, that doesn't sound too bad. But then Jinvid and Konami had to go about it the worst way possible. So moving on to why it's so bad, I want to say now, I had to make an account for this video, so if you like the video, you better like and sub to get me back for that. Only joking. But why am I being so harsh on Ascension, and why do I, along with so many others, think this thing is so freaking bad? So, there are a few things that went wrong, and honestly, they were so predictable. I don't know how the developers didn't take these things into consideration. First, I will start with the enemy of gaming, and apparently streaming now, microtransactions. Yep, you guessed it, you get to pay to vote. So before the next episode, or during, honestly I did not put a lot of time into figuring out how this whole thing worked, as this was not only not very interesting, but it was one of the most hectic and confusing websites I've ever dealt with. But you get to vote for 3 choices of what will happen next, and there's usually a few different polls for a few different scenes. Now the way you vote is using the in-game show thing currency. And you guessed it, the more you pay real money, the more your vote counts. What also doesn't make sense is once voting for something, it doesn't lock you down. I was able to vote for every single option. I feel like you should be able to choose one, and if you decide to add more to it later, you can. Instead, I feel like this opens the opportunity for some overly wealthy trolls to mess with the voting, but who knows? The way you vote is with these IP or influence points. Unique name on that one. To sway the events of the show, along with sending a blast message into the chat, which I would assume is like a super chat or something like that, but I'll say though, you don't have to buy these points. I mean, you don't have to watch the show in the first place, but if you must, you start off with 2,000 IP, and you gain more for free by completing tasks and watching previous episodes. Spending around $1 worth of IP also gets you a prize. I got a sticker. Nice. But that is not the only microtransaction that Ascension has to offer. Now it might be bad, but Ascension can now say that it's the first TV show that I have ever seen to include a freaking battle pass. Yeah, there's a battle pass that you unlock things for spending money and watching 2-minute clips. Freaking nice, dude. Honestly, this is the first thing I heard, the emoji, sticker thing, and battle pass, and I instantly knew that Silent Hill Ascension was dead in the water. But now, on to the next thing that should have been seen right at launch, and that is having a live chat. Now, I have this striving hope for a nice and better society, but let's be honest here, people are pretty vile, and the folk in the Ascension chat were not excluded from that. Things got bad, and weird, fast. I mean, just one thing to pretty much get it through your head. Well, you can just look for yourselves. But yeah, You give a bunch of immature children pretty much a group chat, things are gonna get pretty bad and immature pretty fast. Apparently they fixed the issue as of now though, probably getting more moderators and getting a little more strict with it, but I mean, I saw this from the start. And the last issue, at least, I had was the game aspect of things. You get to do little puzzles for IP and cosmetics, but they all feel like a cheap 99-cent iPhone game from like 2012 that I would play on my mom's phone as a kid. And really, I don't think that part was worth any more of my time. Now with all of that aside, some may wonder, is the show good at least? And is it worth it to trudge your way through all of that junk just to watch the show? Honestly, I would say no to that as well. I mean, I won't lie, I love Silent Hill. The old games and movies, they were awesome. And I expected to at least get a good story and good visuals, but I didn't focus too much on the story or what's going on. Not because I didn't want to, but really it just felt impossible for me. I didn't tune in for it live, but trying to watch it afterward, I have no clue what is the actual show. When going to catch up, there are only 3 clips, all being roughly a minute long, and then going to episodes, there's 1, but it actually seems to be 15 short clips compiled into, I don't know, as I said, it's all so freaking confusing, and really, I just can't keep up with it. Maybe I'm too small-brained. But following the story or not, I can objectively say that the quality is not good. I sat through a couple episodes, which were weirdly only 2 or 3 minutes each. I would have thought they'd be longer, which there are still some 10-minute ones, but come on. Going right into it though, things were not good from the start. It is all animated as if it was a game's cutscene. But I haven't seen game cutscenes looking this bad in a long time. I mean, it is also janky, glitchy, and what I would describe as uncomfortable. It reminds me of the old Meet the Gmod animations that people used to make back in the day. All of the characters look soulless, emotionless. They either talk into an abyss or intently stare at each other as if they're looking through them. It really just looks like the first iterations of mocap in games and movies, and I can't put my finger on what looks worse. The weird part is, graphically, it actually looks really good. It is just the animations and dialogue that makes it all so uncomfortable and janky. Speaking of dialogue, oof. It was hard to listen to even. It seemed like absolutely no effort was actually put into the voice acting side of things. I mean, I don't want to sound judgmental, and maybe it wasn't even the voice acting, but the uncomfortable models just making the voices seem unbelievable. Just take a listen to this and let me know if I'm crazy.
Rachel Hernandez. This order has stood for centuries. How dare you? A withering? Here?
That was the one character that I could not help but cackle laughing whenever he spoke, as he would just stand there emotionless in the background, then chime in with the most emotional statement, still dead-faced. I don't know, it all just felt like a meme. Like, I absolutely hate the skibbity toilet stuff and all of that crap that was blowing up a couple months ago, but that felt like it had a better production quality than Ascension. But hey, maybe that's just me. Really though, I could go on and watch the rest of the series, and maybe the story is so good I'll be able to look past everything I've stated, but at this point, I just think it was dead in the water for most people, and I won't be making a return. And I will say, I know I haven't talked about Silent Hill much on the channel before, but honestly, this was a huge blow for me, and even a few of my friends. Like, to put this into perspective, the last true Silent Hill content we got was back in 2012. 11 years ago. And honestly, it wasn't even the most well-received Silent Hill entries, being Book of Memories on the PS Vita and the HD collection, along with the film Revelation. But even all of those things were much, much, much better than what we got with Ascension. And we did get PT in 2014, one of the absolute best horror games, with only being a demo. You can come at me for saying a demo where you walk around a hallway for an hour is amazing, but it's honestly just what it could have been. Though that entry was cancelled, pretty much turning into Death Stranding, and in the end of the day, it was followed by this. That does not mean you should totally throw out your hopes for the Silent Hill franchise, as I'll admit, there are still some stuff coming that I think could totally turn things around. We have the remake of Silent Hill 2 coming, which I am shaking in my boots for. We also have Silent Hill Townfall, which sounds pretty interesting. And I like a few of the things Annapurna has put out, so I do have high hopes for both of those. But I just hope they don't come out to the same outcome as Ascension. Nevertheless, I have to say, I don't ever see myself returning to Ascension, pretty much only making an account for this video. And they would have to make a big change, pretty much making something completely new to get me to come back. Not that this one lonely viewer matters. And if you do like the show, game, the thing, I don't know what it is, but that's fine too. I am just saying that it is really not something I can get behind. But as I always say, to each their own. And as these side videos go, I think I've gone on long enough about Silent Hill Ascension, and I'm gonna wrap everything up there. But let me know what you thought about Silent Hill Ascension now, and as always, just let me know any of your other thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more side vids like it, be sure to hit that like, and definitely subscribe to help me get my mind off the emails that I will probably end up getting from Ascension support. And if you want to support more videos like this, plus getting your name at the end of every single video, check out a membership to either my YouTube or my Patreon now. But do not feel pressured, as all you fine people of YouTube already do plenty. Lastly, if you heard any music that you liked and you want to hear more, check out BillyTheWhip.com or just Billy the Whip on any music platform now to find all of my home-cooked music. And now that we're here, watch out for Friday's big vid, and I hope all of you have a way better day than I did sitting through all of this.
The flames growing, flow water is flowing, no paddle still rowing, can't reap without sowing, ain't no cut without mowing, ain't loaning no tricks, holding my hand until I'm closing, but I'm rolling down this hill like the rock.